It's late over here in the UK. Not late. It's 10 o'clock p.m. over here in the UK right now, and we got a great guest. Someone who's actually fair enough. Now, this is a funny story, guys, and I want to tell it to you before I introduce my guest. So, you will know our co-host Fiona Lockwood. You will know that she works in ring announcing over in Scotland. Well, our guest was at one of Fiona's companies when Fiona was over in an NWA territory for us. So let's first welcome our guest, Paige Collett. Paige from JCW. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey everyone, yes, we were just talking off camera. One of my, I guess you could say, home promotions. One of the companies that I've been working for the past couple of years is Crossfire, a territory for the NWA, and it's just so funny that I was at her company when she was at my company. So I love that. I love that for both of us, and hopefully we'll be at each other's companies in the future. Tell her I said, hey, I'm sure maybe she's watching. Make sure she co-hosts the next one.
You will. I'll make sure that she brings. She's not long been back to the UK, so I've given her, a bit of time to get the body acclimatized back to UK time and everything, or Scottish time, because that's still different to UK time. Trust me, with that. But no, look, how was the trip to begin with? How was Scotland? It's your first trip away abroad, right? From what you were saying on the.
It was my first trip. Like I got my passport, and it was, as wrestlers, we that's what a part of it, like to travel the world and being sick and unable to have a wrestling career, I was robbed of all these experiences. So
Hmm.
now it's like I'm playing catch up. So one of the things I did now that I'm building my career and getting back involved with this business, it was to get my passport. It was to get booked on these foreign countries because I always had um, throughout my years, when I was in the wheelchair or when I was in wrestling school or actively, taking bookings, I was always offered these different things, but I never had my passport. So one of the things I knew I wanted to do this year was to get my passport and go to other countries. And I did that. And Scotland, I wanted to max out my whole experience other countries. So I ended up like inventing this tour. Like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get booked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just like
Yeah.
max out my time there and be a typical tourist. And um, so to backtrack though, when I got my passport, I was like, okay, I got a little antsy and I was like, fuck it, and I went across border with a couple of the JCW wrestlers, Jeeves and Beastman, and we
Mhm.
went to this Canadian company. So technically my cherry was popped with Canada, technically, but we drove across border. But now after that, I actually technically flew to another country and it was Scotland. I landed in London with my layover, but then I went to Scotland for a week and I'm in my personal life, I'm into like cryptozoology and like history and things like that. So I was like, my friends, uh, I messed up their name and they're gonna kill me. Sparky. Like I messed up their okay, so I genuinely mess up people's handle names.
Okay.
So Column.
Yeah.
Eh, yeah, like look them up. My Scottish Knights. I'm not even gonna butcher their Instagram names. I literally tag them to everything, but they are streamers that react to like WWE and AEW, and they
Yeah.
started to react. Once Vince Russo came over to JCW, they started reacting to JCW, and one of their first reaction videos was to my character, the Ring Rat,
Okay.
and it ended up going viral. It wasn't just our show that went viral; it was a fan's reaction to our segment, and it just happened to be my segment, and that's how I got introduced to them. And I ended up getting to go to Scotland, and they were such good accommodating hosts. But getting to go to another country, realistically, where I'm in a sick body, I have
Mhm.
active CRPS, so
Yes.
being on a plane for 8 hours was disgusting. When I got out of the wheelchair, how to walk again and got back involved with this business. And when I was diagnosed with CRPS, this is all within the past 2 years. So within the past 2 years, what I've had to relearn to do is to travel to, and what I did was get in vehicles at first, and then eventually get on planes with my sickness for the first time last year, and learn how to be on planes for a couple hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and then now this year it's like shit, you got to be on planes for longer hours and go to other countries. So it's all just like a big build, and in a poorly put way, I'm building a tolerance. So to experience my disease on a plane for like an hour and a half from Cincinnati to Chicago, then from Chicago to London, and that was like 8 hours, and then from London to Glasgow, it was just disgusting. But I know that I want to do this. I want to, regardless if my body's not in remission, I'll be sick the rest of my life. It is what it is. But I just experienced that for the first time. And I want anyone that's sick out there to know that you can do it. It's as cliche as that sounds, is you can do it. You get on the plane, listen to your body, monitor your health, but you can go and fulfill your
Yeah.
dreams, guys. You know, that's the message I want people to take from this whole experience. But when I was in Scotland, though, besides doing the shows, I went and I looked for the Loch Ness monster.
Did you find it?
Paper machete version of one.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, not the real creature, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I let the Scots down. Damn it. Fuck. Shit.
I'm sure they'll forgive you. Did you sample any of Scottish's great cuisine?
They gave me a sausage roll,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna shoot. I'm just gonna shoot. I'm a truther. I'm a truther. And I'm telling you, it's not what it's all gassed up to be. And I think what happened was it was a cold one,
Right. Yeah.
because it was just like a cold, slimy sausage, like
Hmm.
in a pastry, like a biscuit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a vibe. But I feel like if it was like piping, I feel like if it was like really hot and fresh, and then it had like a condiment or something, like I feel like if there was like some kind of sauce, because it literally was just a sausage and then bread. I was really let down by that, because I was like, man, I want to taste Europe. And
Did you
that
get?
was not a slimy experience, man. But no, another thing was they have chips,
Yeah.
and what that is like French fries.
Yes. Yeah.
But in America, we call that version of French fries like steak fries, because they're just thick.
Yeah.
Like you have like a waffle fry, a curly fry,
Hmm.
like the thin fries,
Yeah.
but they're all like fries. They're all fucking French fries, whatever.
Yeah.
But over there, you guys call them chips.
Hmm.
And I feel like that was like the yummiest French fry I've ever had, to be honest.
There we go. That's good. We've got one good thing, right? They got chips, right? With the sausage, did you get it from Greg's? Was it a place called Greg's?
I think so. Yeah, it was like a blue wrapping.
That's it. So, so there is a reason why they can't heat up the sausage anymore in Greg's. They somebody sued the company because it burnt their mouth and the inside when they had it. So you could put it in the oven. So Greg's normally served them hot, but they can't serve it to hot to customers anymore because they got sued for about
There's
half
a
a
whole
million
fucking
dollars.
legend behind this, and I mocked this whole entire fucking legend by saying it was slimy. So there's a reason why they're slimy. So I would like to go somewhere where it's not gonna burn my esophagus and gonna be satisfying.
Yeah, well, I think you'll be fine. You just have to stick it. What we think have these things called air fryers. You can just shove it in there and then you warm it up and then it'll be a lot better. And you're right, it does need a sauce or some kind of condiment to
Or
go.
like a I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't want to sound too American and be like stuff some cheese in there and like some like buttered garlic on top or some shit. I don't know. Like there's something missing, and I was just like, this is odd. This is unfortunately disappointing.
Thank.
Uh, um, if I come to London, what would you guys feed me?
Okay, so there is a thing in London called pie and mash with parsley sauce.
What's
Or
wrong with you? Who is wrong with you? Ew.
Well, it's great. It's fantastic. It's a steak pie.
Disgusting.
It's wonderful. It's a delicacy over here. You know, that is a pie
I
mash.
think I would no, I think I would want to try the English breakfast or whatever. It has like mushrooms.
Fry up. That's what it's called, a fry up. So yeah, you get sausage, egg, bacon, beans, mushrooms, tomatoes, bread,
Yeah.
and a cup of what we English tea, which is well, I have coffee, but I have tea.
I like tea, but I don't like anything in it. I don't want sugar in it. I don't want milk in it, honey. I don't want any bullshit in it.
That's fine. Just have it that way. But you want to find
The beans, like, is that sweet or is it regular beans, like pinto?
it's baked beans, so it's like Heinz. They're orange. Have you ever seen them?
So sweet. You have sweet beans on your plate?
Well, you can not have it. You can have extra mushrooms, I suppose, in your case. If you
Yeah,
want.
I do like mushrooms.
There you
The one thing I'd be afraid of is black pudding. Like that's
go.
what,
Oh, yeah, it's disgusting.
yeah. So if the locals say it's disgusting, then I'm not going to put it in my mouth.
Exactly. You don't want that. And lucky enough, you didn't get haggis in Scotland either, because
I
that's
refused. I refused. And they did offer it to me multiple times, and I refused. I could not eat the haggis.
yeah, don't. Never eat a
Don't.
haggis.
You said
Uh,
don't.
Don't. Don't. Never eat that. Never ever eat that. JCW spoke about it, and you spoke about Vince Russo coming in. Well, we've had Vince on here a couple of times. He's been great. Um,
Nice.
how has it been with him? Because is it still like a massive learning tree with Vince Russo and that there? Do you feel like you learn a lot more with him at
For
JCW?
sure. For sure. He's like, it's so cringe to say this because like I'm a part of the company, he's my boss, but I'll always be as real and as authentic as possible. And he's like a dad energy on set. Like as in he's kind, he's a kid having fun and professional. Like and then to for him to be like a legend name in the business and to be able to work with him. Like tomorrow morning, I'm driving out and I'm gonna be on tour working TV with them for the next 4 days, and I get to work with like dissect his brain and it's cool because my character is about to have a lot being pumped out and I am excited to he sent out the scripts and I am excited to be like, okay, so what if we do like because he lets us play with our characters. It's not
Yeah.
just by the book. It's literally here's the blueprint, here's the script, and he lets us improv. He lets us like play with our characters, and I have a lot of fun ideas with the blueprint he sent out, and I really I'm so excited because maybe I'll be able to share some behind the scenes content of him being a mentor, being a boss, the producer, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think Vince is great. I know he gets a bad rep from some people, but I
He
think he's
does, and I don't like that because like I work with this guy, and one of the first things out of his mouth every time he is, "Are you okay?" He's
Mm,
like a dad. He's worried about my sickness, and no, I don't want to be pity fucked. No, I don't want to be the oddball out and everyone talk about the elephant in the room, like, "Oh, that's the sick girl. Ah, she's gonna die." You know, like I don't want, I don't want to be like that, but to know that, oh, this bitch was just got off a plane. Is she okay?
yeah.
Oh, her body responds to vehicle rides. She just was on the tour bus for 6 hours. Are you okay? And he always asks, "Hey, are you okay? Hey, how are you?" When he sees me, he genuinely is so human.
Hmm. Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, I grew up in his era, right? When he was writing WWE and stuff like that. That was my teenage years. So I owe a lot to Vince because wrestling, that was something that I got into because of the stuff he was writing. So, regardless of what everyone thinks about him, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if we would be here or if we would be having this conversation if Vince Russo wasn't around. I don't know. That's the thing because that was what got me into it, Vince. So I owe Vince a lot, and I enjoyed his time on this show for sure. It was great. It's always a good fun having
That's
Vince.
cool that you guys have had him on.
Oh, he's been on. He was our first ever international guest that we had on about 3 years. So we first had him on about 3 years ago. So he wasn't at JCW then, and then we had him on again about 18 months ago. So we've had him on twice in about 3 years, and we've had a great time with him. He was great. He was honestly one of the most. He'll give you his answer, right, and that's the best thing. And he doesn't shy away from any question, which is great for Vince as well.
Right.
He's a great guy. Honestly, a great guy.
No, really. Like people should never like just some people get bad reputations and some people like to assassinate other people's character. Like assassination of character is a really real thing. And in the entertainment world, in wrestling, politics is a very much real toxic thing. And I give everyone the benefit of the doubt and people show me their true colors, you know?
Yeah, exactly that. And Vince is a great guy. Talk about your character on JCW. So you played a ring rat in JCW, which is I've seen the stuff. I watch it. It's great. How did all
Thank
this
you.
come about?
Right. So getting back involved with wrestling was wild and it was a wild story on its own.
Mm,
So when I ended up getting scouted for JCW, it was by Violent J. And I was doing a signing down at Memphis, Tennessee. We were doing TV down there in Memphis, and Violent J was booked for an appearance. And um, that's when I was scouted, you know. And of course, whenever people interact with me, of course, like the first thing is, let's bring her in to wrestle. And a lot of people, yes, even though I am a wrestler, yes, even though I technically am a wrestler and I will always be a wrestler, I am sick and I'm unable to take wrestling bookings. So I am only able to do appearances, podcasts, and manager spots, you know, like, so this was January of last year. And so he wasn't aware of that. But of course, when he got the Iggy and stuff, from the get go, just the idea of me being brought in as a manager was perhaps this character that he came up with, and it was the ring rat. And I loved loved it because it was a job, it was a unique character, and I knew that I could play around with it. And I didn't get brought on until later on in the year. And I'll never forget, like, I was reaching out to Violent J and I was just like, I really, really, really want this. I really want this job and stuff. So he wanted me to make myself available for the tour. And I remember I could only do like, I think it was in Louisville at the end of their tour. So what I did was I showed up, and instead of managing and doing a ballet spot like originally was
mm.
planned, I ended up being put in the battle royale, and I ended up just debuting as me, you know, like they didn't know about the ring rat just yet. I wasn't put on the script yet. I wasn't hired yet. I was just like, yeah, I'm here. And the only thing I did literally was go out and be like, hello. And then Shane Mercer literally swooped me up, it took me up to the top,
Yeah.
and then flipped and did the moonsault battery on me. And it went viral. It went, and it got a holy shit chant. And then by, and then, and then next thing you know, I appear on TV the next week as the ring rat. It was like, hi guys, I'm here.
That's
So like
awesome.
I'm not even on the roster yet, and it literally went viral. It was fucking hilarious. It was not.
That's probably like the best thing you could get, right? Something that goes viral that you're not even signed properly yet. That
Right,
happens, bang.
right, and it's just like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm new. No
Uh,
heat, no heat.
that is brilliant. I love that. We will talk a bit more about your illness in a minute, if okay. But
Yeah,
before
of
we
course.
do, before we do that, I like to split the show up, and I do ask some random wrestling questions. It's nothing. Well, I say it's nothing too teeterous, but it's quite funny. Sometimes it gets people thinking. So we'll have a look. So here we go.
Okay.
So look, everyone has their Mount Rushmore of favorite wrestlers. I don't ask that question. I ask for your top four, which is a Mount Rushmore of wrestling theme songs.
Oh, top four.
Mhm.
Whoa. Okay, all right. Let me marinate. But the first thing on the tip of my tongue is always fucking Shawn Michaels. Obviously, I'm just a sexy boy,
Yeah,
sexy boy.
you can hit the high
I
notes.
work
I can't.
out to that. I work out to that
Yeah.
song. I'm such a mark for that. Oh my gosh. We could just end there, you know?
Yeah.
Like do one, two, three, four. They're like it's that. No, let's see. If I could come up with any other, there's just so many good ones. I mean, I like Stone Cold Steve Austin's, obviously. Those are my top two. Which ones would you pick? What's the vibe that you got?
It's really weird because it does. So generally, it's Triple H the game, which is one.
That's
Uh,
a good one. I normally run to that on the treadmill. No, that's a
yeah.
good one, but go on.
Adam Copeland's Metalingus, so which is a song from Alter Bridge, Edge, for those rest. So that's his one. Cool. There's something two more. It's weird. Oh, the NWO song was great when I was growing up. Just when the NWO first got together in WCW.
I like the Attitude Era, just video mashup, fucking, what
Yeah,
is that gimmick? The opener gimmick, whatever.
yeah, I get what you mean. And then I think my last one. See, this is weird because as I'm growing older, things have changed. I love Randy Orton's one, Voices. Um, but I really like CM Punk's Cult of Personality, even though that song's older than me, would you believe? But it
What
is.
about the Hardy Boys?
Hardy's is great. We get that a lot. That one, when I interview some of the guys from the UK, the
Yeah.
Hardys or Jeff Hardy's solo song, No More Words, gets.
I saw a boy from, I dare say, England go viral for his entrance. What is that? What is his name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
What was his entrance?
And the audience asked him to run it back.
Oh my God, I don't know. That's-
No, dead ass, it's going viral. So there's a guy over in like London or some shit, and the whole song is or some shit like
Is
that.
that not Australia? And is that not one of the dropouts in Australia?
Well, I'm a little embarrassed that I got Australia mixed up with England. Oops.
I,
Well,
I'm
I
sure
think he
it
might
is.
be redheaded or something.
I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a team called the Dropouts, and they come out to it and they do all of that. So I'm thinking it might
Yeah,
be
I
that.
think there's a spot where I think one I saw him by himself, or maybe he is a tag because I saw another video where he was with another guy. But he's been going viral. And the funny thing is, you know, the audience will always say one more time or some shit or run it back or whatever. Well, the funny thing is, it's his fucking entrance. So
Yeah,
after him taking the whole ass time and dancing in the
yeah.
audience and stuff, and it's been fucking 5 minutes, it's time to take the whole show home. They're like, run it back or some shit. And they're like, okay. So he goes back to the back and they start playing his music again. It's the dumbest shit ever. And hello, Sean. I love the whole Shawn Michaels gimmick, you know?
Yeah,
Like I love the whole oversell. So of course I'm gonna
yeah.
eat that shit up. But yeah, that guy, so Australian, my
I
bad.
think he's Australian. Yeah, I think it is. They're called the Drop. They're a team called the Dropouts. The only and one of the reasons I know is I've been doing a lot of podcasts with the tag for with the well with the people over in Australia, and there's a show coming up called The Dropout, which is a show with them, and that's next week, funnily enough. So there we go. So you better see it again
Okay.
next week.
You're gonna
Right.
have him on your show next week?
Oh no, they've actually there's a company in Australia called PWA. It's where Charlie Evans works, does a lot of work, and they're on there. And they've got a show. They've actually got a wrestling show called Dropout, which is based on
Okay.
them. So they're on a show. They're on the show next week, which will be fun to see. Um, right, next question. So it's a random game. So I'm going to give you a name of a wrestler. You give me the first word, phrase, or sentence that comes into your head.
I'm like genuinely gonna be the worst at this game.
That's
Oh
fine.
my God.
That's all right. First one then. As you mentioned him already, Shawn Michaels.
Oh. So you just want one word, or can I literally
Could
just
be anything.
word
It could be
bomb?
what sentence. It could be a paragraph. To matter. What was the first thing
Okay,
you?
okay. Oh, all right. Wait, 90s Shawn Michaels. Fuck. Modern day Shawn Michaels, give me a job, please, sir. Boss man, sir, you are amazing. I respect you. You are a legend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
genuinely love. I always have referenced him throughout my career, no matter what stage I'm at, no matter who's been interviewing me. I've always mentioned Shawn Michaels still because that's like everyone thinks the ring rat is over the top and
Yeah.
over. Like I was just in Scotland and this really in shape girl, she had amazing muscles,
Terrible.
and yeah, Kara. And I was like, you know, she's gonna slap me, but it's not enough to just like drop to a knee or just sell like, you know, to the hard cam, like just no. This bitch has muscles. She slaps me, I'm gonna take a fucking bump. And I fucking did. I took a fucking like that's fucking Shawn Michaels, man.
It is. It certainly is the king of the
So
sales.
younger version of him would fuck. And now me who I am and him being who he is, nothing but respect, man. Like not that fucking is disrespectful. I'm just saying I would have made myself available to him back then. But then again, that would have been weird because I wasn't born yet. But then by the time I was born, then we're talking about something completely wrong and different and dumb. So it just wasn't meant to be. It just was not meant to be.
No.
Let me just say that. But who was meant to be is Stone Cold Steve Austin, possibly.
Ah, Steve Austin, he was a great guy. He's great. I have a I had a funny story with him.
What, you've interviewed him?
I've met him on a couple of occasions.
Dude,
What
did you see that the news got a hold of a joke I made?
I did see that.
So, so guys, the ones that are watching right now, if you guys do not know, I have a weird sense of humor. Like, I dead ass was trapped in a wheelchair for a very long time, and you know, your thoughts just get the best thoughts. You know, like you don't get a. I was just a prisoner with my sickness, and I didn't get to fucking do shit, right? So now scene changes. I'm just a silly little goose, and I'm a nobody, but apparently the world is starting to get a hold of me or some shit. So I'm a nobody. But I made a silly little goose joke about my celebrity crush, and it made breaking news within 30 minutes.
No,
30 minutes.
it's crazy. They
Oh, it
could.
gets better. It gets better.
Oh, go.
Then I make a comment on one of my friends' posts like a couple weeks later, you know, because one of my friends was during WrestleMania weekend and it was like a shit show. It was like chaos, like for like fucking 7 days. And then I had to go on tour JCW because ICP was on tour and we traveled with them. So it was just like a gnarly time. But during that chaos, I was ran upstairs to go and shower and change and do my hair, makeup, and get ready for the show because I had already been doing meet and greets all day. It was literally insane. I missed Stone Cold down there where I was, and my friends were because it was nonstop wrestling shows, you know.
Yeah.
And I missed that one show, and fucking Stone Cold was down there, so I missed the opportunity of meeting him and getting a photo. So I make a joke on my friend's post, which was Shane Mercer, oddly enough, with JCW, and my comment made fucking headline news, and it was a joke.
That's the
But
thing.
no, like I'm just like dude. If I fart, someone will report it.
There you go. It's going to be reported now. Page farts, ladies and gentlemen. There's your headline. Take that
No.
one. Take that one. Anyway, next name on my list, Randy Orton.
Uh, yeah, like cool, I guess. Like cool.
Vince Russo.
Uh, boss man dad.
Boss man dad. And the final name on this list before we move on, John Cena.
Ooh, I'd like to meet him and I'd like to tell him my story. I feel like he would actually listen to my story and uh well, appreciate the hustle.
Yeah, I've met him, not on here. I've met him at WrestleMania. I flew out to WrestleMania about 15 years ago, and
That's
met
cool,
John.
man.
He was cool. I met him. Yeah, he's great. John's great. Funny enough, it was at the time I used to boo him when he used to come out. So as I walked up to him, I booed him, like pretend to boo him, and he found it really funny. We had a little chat after up on the autograph bit. He was great. He's an amazing guy. Amazing guy. Right. If you could have somebody play you in a film, who would be the actress that would play Paige Collett in a film?
I've been asked that only
Okay.
one time recently,
Uh-huh.
and it's funny enough because I've never been asked this, but uh, okay, so it's funny because I don't know who should, but if I had to pick, it's funny because she played the other page in her bio, but that what's that actress's name?
I
The
remember, can't
one
I?
I don't know her name, but she played in Paige's bio, but
Yeah.
she went on and had a great acting career after playing in that. And if you look her up, I feel like she's the only actress that really kind of looks like me in a sense.
No, that's fine. That's good. That's good. If you have a band play you out, which band would you want to play you out?
Ooh, I think I would. I mean, it would have been legendary to have had like Ozzy, but that would have been my answer.
They can.
But
That's fine. That's the answer. That's fine. It could have Ozzy Osbourne. That's if you want Ozzy to play you out,
that
it's
would have
fine.
been amazing.
Yeah, Aussie's good.
Maybe I can
Right.
get Fozzy then.
Ozzy. Yeah. I always thought like Ozzy, I always thought like, when you get these like tribute bands. When I first heard of Fozzy, I thought it was an Ozzy Osbourne tribute band at first, but and then I realized it was Chris Jericho. So it was never.
Funny, yeah. Well, still, hey, that's my second pick. There we go.
There we go, Fozzy. There we go. So Chris, if you're watching, there you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chris, let's make that happen.
Let's make it happen. Right, last question, and then we move on. Right, if you are on a desert island and you can only take one wrestler with you on that desert island, who's that going to be?
LA Knight.
Yeah. Okay, fine. That's good. That's a good one. Right, let's talk about this because you mentioned it throughout the show. Now, I believe it is it called complex regional pain syndrome? Is that what it's
That's
called?
correct. Yes, yes.
Huh.
So CRPS is a neurological disorder, and it's this non-curable disease, and it's the big boogeyman if you let it be. And I went through my grieving stage for the past 2 years since my diagnosis. I've been sick for 9 years now, but I went 7 years undiagnosed, and
Wow.
that's the tragedy and the beauty, so to speak, of my story. Wrestling accident activated this, and it was a wrestling. See, when the way you develop this disease is through trauma,
Mhm.
and the scarier cases is you just wake up with it. But the more traumatic ones is stroke, heart attack, activating it. But mine was a wrestling injury in the ring,
Wow.
and my coach Rikishi witnessed it himself, and it was I had plantar fasciitis in the bottom of both my feet, and I suffered with that since I was a teenager, and
Mm.
basically that's swelling of the muscles, and it irritates it and causes pain, your ligaments on the bottom of your feet. Well, my lifestyle out in LA was very brutal. I was homeless. I had only my brother, my friend Nathaniel. He's a professional wrestler as well. Nate, he buzzsaw Nate. He's really cool. Look him up, guys. Like he does this like macho man style gimmick. He deserves his flowers. But he was out there with me, and we were just like these two kids that just like worked at Walmart and roughed it out. And my brother witnessed it. But out in LA, my schedule was sleep out of the vehicle in the daytime, no air conditioning, go to Planet Fitness, work out, shower, train at Rikishi's for so many hours and then repeat. I never had an off time. So my plantar fasciitis ended up getting really, really irritated. And during one of my matches out there, I tore the ligaments in both of my feet and I couldn't walk. And I knew there was something wrong. And I don't know what it was, intuition, spirituality. I just knew there was something wrong. I knew it wasn't just the accident. And from that moment on, like I had to be carried out, and I was condemned to a wheelchair. And doctors, I went to 15 different doctors, and not a single one of them knew how to save my life. Not a single one of them knew what was going on. I was condemned to a wheelchair. I couldn't walk, and I ended up gaining so much weight. For 7 years, I went undiagnosed. 15 different doctors couldn't save my life. They performed 4 different surgeries. They butchered me, and I have scars up my legs for all the different experimental surgeries, just trying to fix me. And in the end, it turned out to be this rare disease called complex regional pain syndrome. And it turns out to be the most painful pain known to mankind. And that's the tragedy of all this. It wasn't just my sacrifice to become a professional wrestler. It wasn't just to be robbed of a wrestling career and be put in a wheelchair. It was the fact that my wrestling accident activated one of the rarest and most painful diseases known to mankind. And I was raw dogging that for 7 years. This whole
Yeah.
entire time, I had no pain pills. I had no medical treatment. I had no aid. I was alone in a wheelchair, gaining weight. I ended up getting to 300 pounds. I was fat as fuck and experiencing this pain, and it ended up spreading. It wasn't just where my feet and my legs were, it spread full body into my organs, into my arms. And I have this condition all throughout my body now because of the medical neglect. And I can't shame the 15 doctors that didn't know, but what I can do now is become an advocate
Mm.
and bring awareness to this rare disease so that the world can know, that we can tell our doctors, we can educate the world on this rare disease so no one has to suffer like I did. And it's not just the principle of it being rare and people going undiagnosed, it's nicknamed the suicide disease. We are labeled the most painful pain, and people are killing themselves. And when I was discovered by my doctor, they were just dumbfounded that I had survived this whole time. So for 2 years now, I have been getting back involved with the wrestling world. That's true, but I had to learn how to walk again
Mm.
without the help of the medical community. I raw dogged the most painful pain a human can experience above childbirth, above cancer, above kidney stones, above emergency amputation, above all the pains you can imagine. I have that disease throughout my body. And I had to teach myself how to walk again without any medical community, without any facility, rehab facility. I had to go to a Planet Fitness and teach myself how to walk again. And it took an entire year to learn how to walk again. But I did that, and just to do that, I I don't know. I feel like no one should suffer like I have.
Mm.
I know that I'm lucky to be alive, and I don't want anyone to go undiagnosed ever again. And it's not just with my diseases, with other sicknesses. People need to be validated in their pain. I told
Yeah.
people, I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong, but I feel like I'm dying. And it turned out I was. And with the sickness, it causes organ damage, it causes brain damage, it causes so much PTSD. Like there's so many issues with this health condition, but it doesn't have to be a death sentence. You can fight this, you can combat this, just like people with cancer that go into remission, just like people with cancer that can go live and flourish. I want people to know that they can with my condition as well. So I feel like I'm this beacon of saying, hey, let's educate the world, but also let's fight.
Exactly that. Make sure you do. I mean, that was an incredible story, and you've done amazingly well to, yeah, as you say, it's a suicide disease, right? And everyone would rather not
Yeah.
be it than fight it. And you're a prime example of what can happen if you do fight it and you do get and you push yourself and you had that attitude and that you were strong-willed at times, and maybe people you wouldn't have been, or maybe you wouldn't have been so strong-willed, but you were, and you beat it. Well, you haven't beat it; it's still there, but you know,
It's it's nicknamed the suicide disease with people that have pain pills,
Yeah.
and it's like I didn't. To
Yeah.
this day, that's the story. That's the magic. I even 2 years ago when I got diagnosed, they're like, my doctor even suggested that I do the ketamine infusions, but one of them being you go into a medically induced coma just to calm your body, and they pump you with ketamine to try to put your body into remission.
Wow.
They wanted to put me in a medically induced coma. I said no. I won't, because ketamine is horse tranks and it's liquid opioids. I've got at the time, I
Mhm.
gone 7 years without anyone offering me any pain pills. And now you guys want to do this?
Yeah.
So I said no, and I ended up taking a medical marijuana card. And I have, for the past 2 years, let alone for the past 9 years, I have been organically combating CRPS.
It's amazing. That is brilliant. I'm nowhere near on that level, but I can tell you I had a basically an illness that was going to kill me, and I didn't know about it,
Yeah.
and that was and they still actually don't know what well they know part of the reason, but I was every time I was going to sleep, it felt like there was blood dripping off my heart, or there's something dripping off my heart that was
Oh
basically
my
causing it to
gosh, it's terrifying.
I kept thinking that was my heart was going to stop beating. And I had it for a while. And the doctors thought it was just an infection in my chest, so they kept giving me antibiotics, and they weren't clearing it. And it turned out that what the issue was, so I don't want to bore you with the whole story, but what it turned out was
This doesn't bore me at all. You can tell me all of it.
so it started like in March, April time of about 3 years ago. And it was still going on when I went. So I live in London, like I mentioned. My family lived down in a place called Cornwall, which is sort of 4 hours away from me. So I had this thing for about 4 months. And I didn't know. I couldn't sleep. I was getting about an hour and a half a night because of this thing that was going on. I was coughing. I was coming out of breath when I was walking to sort of there's a town centre near me, but about 12 minutes away. I couldn't get as far as the top of my road without having a difficulty breathing. So anyway, when I went down to see my parents, I gave it a couple of days and I was like, okay, I'm still not right. Let's go and let's just get it checked out. Let's just go to the hospital. I got to the hospital. I got to the so there's when you go into the hospital, you have a triage bit before you go to see a nurse, and then you have something else, and then you go through. When I was explaining to the receptionist what was going on, or trying to explain because I couldn't get my words out, she pressed the emergency button underneath. Doctors come in, they took me right through, and then they gave me the first thing they done was took my blood pressure. And these words from the doctor will always stick in my head because he looked at the blood pressure result, he looked at me, and he said, how have you walked in this room? He was like, you are in acute cardiac arrest because my blood pressure was 238 over 136. So technically, I'm flat, not flatlining, but my blood pressure is way too high. So I was in acute cardiac arrest. They
Wow.
done 15 tubes of blood, an MRI, a CT, an ultrasound. And what they found was the bottom two chambers of your heart that should be pumping at 50 were pumping at 10 and going down. So basically the blood wasn't it was too thick to get into my heart. It was enlarging it and it was basically killing me. They I went in
Terrifying.
on they went in on the Sunday and they said I would have had 48 hours. If I hadn't gone in by Tuesday, I would have been dead. I would not have made it. Scariest thing about it was 2 days later, Bray Wyatt died of a heart condition at the same time, 2 days after I.
Oh,
It was crazy.
wow. It's awful.
And now all the tests that I've had have come back negative. Only the high blood pressure, which they can control over with tablets. My heart is back, my chambers are back pumping normally. I never pissed so much in all my life because they gave me this because my chest was basically flooded, so they had to inject
Oh
me.
my gosh. Yeah, you had a lot of water on your heart.
Fluid. Yeah, so they I had to I never pissed so much in all my life, but I'm fine now, which is great. But they still don't know what caused the secondary issue, which is so it's a bit of a mystery. But there you go. There's my medical story. Not as bad as yours,
I
but
thank you. No, 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 no. It's never a dick measuring contest. And this isn't what you're saying, but I want people watching to understand that
mm,
it's everyone's valid in their pain. It
yeah,
do I have the most painful pain? Yes. Is it a
mm,
dick measuring contest? No, this is just facts. This is me
yeah,
educating the world. This is me being an advocate. With that being said, you're allowed to be in pain around me. And
Yeah.
in a sadistic, not in a sadistic way, but in I want to hear people's pain stories. That is my purpose in a sense. Like, yes, I am a professional wrestler. Yes, I want to be involved with wrestling and have a job, a career, yada, 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 whatever. But advocacy work is my true purpose. And I want to hear people's stories. Do I want people to be in pain? No. This is awful. It's tragic.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed personally, whether it's from my own story or from what people have been, people approach me and tell me their pain. And from what I've gathered in the past 2 years is people just want to be heard. I wanted to be heard. I wanted people to hear me, believe me, and know my pain was real, and hear my trauma, hear my story, validate my struggle. That's all people want to hear is, or just to be, like I said, just to listen. And I like to sit back, stay quiet, and listen to people's pain stories, like yours just now, or others. Like when I get the opportunity with my job to travel now, and to whether they're wrestlers, whether they're refs, production crew, fans. When I get to go to all these different places all across America, all across the world, people come and tell me their pain stories, and I value these moments because this is my purpose. I want to hear people's pain. I want to hear about their struggles, and I want to try to help them in any way possible, even if it's just to be seen and heard. And I want to help. And thank you again for sharing your story. I'm sorry for your pain. That's scary as fuck. I'm glad your heart's doing good. I'm glad you pee-peed. You pee-peed and saved your heart. Well done.
I think this is the scariest point was they said, if you go into cardiac arrest, do you want us to resuscitate you? And I was like, I've got an 8-year-old boy that might want to see his dad again. So I think it's wise that you,
Dude, you just hearing the shit. Like you, oh wait, so people watching, you don't understand until
it's
it
scary.
happens to you. Like until doctors say, holy shit, like until they have the holy shit moment, they just don't fucking get it, man. But you're one of the unfortunate, you're part of the club.
Yeah,
Why?
bang. We
We're
are. We are part of the
we're
club.
we're part of an exclusive club. Sorry guys. There's only so much room over here. Like we're of the sick that have died and are dying, and it's great.
Yeah. Indeed, it is. Right. As we start to wrap up, Paige, what I want to know and what everyone else wants to know is where can they find you? What have you got coming up that you can announce where you're going to be on our TV screens?
Okay. So we're doing a lot of JCW tapings. Today's media day. I have 6 podcasts I'm doing. So this is my third, and when I get off here, I got my other 3, obviously.
Yeah.
I have to meet up with the JCW crew, film the next 3 days. We're gonna be live, or next 4 days. We're gonna be live tomorrow. So check that out online, guys. JCW. I think next week is CCW, and I'm gonna be in the horror con in New Jersey. So CCW is in Tennessee, and then horror con is in New Jersey. I'll be with my mentor Don Marie. Then the following week will be NWA tapings. So that's my next 2.5 weeks, guys. But yeah, just stay tuned. You can find me on all social medias and see all my updates there.
Make sure you guys do and don't miss out because the Ring Rat's coming back to our TV very, very soon. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you on there. And we want to get you back over here as well, Paige, and back or touring Europe, right? So promoters.
Sounds great. Let's make it happen.
Yes. So promoters over here in the UK, you can reach out to Paige directly on her social media to get her booked. Get her over here. If obviously you do get over, well, it's not an if you'll get back over here. I hope we're running at Ignite because we need some Ring Rat over in Boreham Wood to stir up some shit with the crowd.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's get it done. But guys, she's been the wonderful Paige Collett. I've been your host, Adam Cousins. You've been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and good night.